Come here. I want to.
Watson and Watson.
255 to 58 for Denver.
It's very one-sided, of course. I think the Bears' defense has as much to do with this than the Bears' offense, sacking Elway 4 times and creating 1 touchdown for their offense.
Now, at the top of the show, we had our opening advantage rating, and we rated a total of 10 categories on a scale of 1 to 10, and Denver came out with a slight edge. But Bob did point out that the swing category was the offensive line. Now, we gave Chicago a slight edge in the offensive line, 7 to 6, but when you look at the total offense, you would have to give the quarterback a bigger edge than a point. The running backs, with Peyton, you could give him almost a 10 with what he's done today. The receivers, and primarily the offensive line, because they have dominated.
I think McMahon's playing well. I think Peyton is playing well because the offensive line is dominating the line of scrimmage. Denver's defensive line is not doing so well because of injury, and that all adds up to a big lead here at halftime for the Bears.
And it may mean that Steve DeBerg will be coming in, because he is loosening up. And he certainly has been the relief pitcher for the Denver Broncos, no question about that. And Elway hasn't had anything going.
I don't think this is a bad move at all, because he is really frustrated and really out of control with the Chicago Bear defense. They really have him over a barrel. He doesn't know which way they're coming. Change quarterbacks and see if DeBerg, a veteran, can do something about it.
All right, and we'll find out in a big hurry, because the Broncos will have the ball. Zach Thomas on the return to the 20, the 25, to the 30-yard line.
Those holes don't stay open very long. There was a big hole in there, and they close up pretty quickly.
Anthony Hutchinson with the tackle for the Bears. 26 yards on the return, and Steve DeBerg is the quarterback. So now what is his job? Obviously to score, but
I think
basically just to get something moving?
Just to bring some confidence into that huddle and at the line of scrimmage. When the Bears are jumping around, do the right things, but the offensive line has confidence in what you're doing.
Down the middle, it is caught at the 45-yard line. Jim Wright, the tight end, pulls it in, and DeBerg opens up with a big first down. Todd Bell was there for the defense. Let's take another look from the end zone.
Chicago starts out by blitzing their linebacker Otis Wilson, throws the ball over Fisher's head, over Bell's head. It's a great throw for his first throw of the ball game, and that's the thing you need to do. They were blitzing man coverage, get the ball downfield.
Upchurch goes wide to the far side. Watson wide to the near side. Jim Wright, the tight end. Winder and Peros, the running back. And that's Nathan Poole. He and Peros are the messenger service. And Poole has a yard to the 46, so it'll be 2nd down and 9. Al Harris and Dan Raines make the tackle.
I know how he feels. Been there many times myself early in my career, Charlie.
Did it bother you in this case
not at all.
to
Not
come
at
out
all.
in the second half?
You know you're not playing well. Let somebody else go. The thing he has to do is go stand by the sideline and watch what's going on and try to learn. And then when he goes back on Monday or Tuesday, get the films out and say, hey, I could have done better here or there. You've got to learn from these experiences.
2nd down and 9. Euchre, Bishop, Bryan, Howard, and Lanier, the offensive line. Wright shows motion. And it goes to Jim Wright. And he is out of bounds near the 50-yard line. Otis Wilson was there for the Bear defense. Chicago has Hartenstein, Osborne, Hampton, and Harris the front 4, with Wilson, Singletary, and Raines the linebacker. Schmidt and Frazier on the corner. Fisher and Bell at the safety.
It's interesting to note DeBerg comes out. His first 2 passes are completed to the tight end. The Bears have been taking away their wide receivers, Upchurch and Watson, double covering them. He comes out and goes to the tight end on single coverage.
3rd down and 5. 7 men in the secondary for the Bears. Throwing very quickly. A flag goes down. Pass was complete to the rookie Clint Sampson out of San Diego State. Mike Richardson is the man who picked him up, but there was a marker down. Defensive holding is the preliminary call.
Defense for 43. Holding, refuse, first down.
Number 43 is Walt Williams.
Gain of 12.
Walt Williams right there holding.
That is a hold.
Could have tackled him with a little bit more effort.
Walt knows if you're going to hold, go ahead and hold. Gain of 12 to the 38-yard line, first down. So Denver is on the march for the first time in the ballgame. The second back is Winder, and he is wrapped up at the 40, so he'll lose a couple. It'll be second and 12. Dan Hampton was there in his 5th year out of the University of Arkansas. So the Razorback got him.
May have seen just before the ball was snapped that last time, the Bears defensive line shifting over. The offensive line of the Broncos then has to make an adjustment on the blocking play, and they're having their problems today with that outfit.
DeBerg now 3 for 3, 30 yards throwing. Second and 12. We're 3 minutes into the second half. He just drops this one off, and this drop. Winder was all alone. Could have picked up 5 or 6 yards, possibly. Todd Bell is the man who was closing on him, but the ball got to the turf before Bell got there, so that's academic. Third down 12.
You can feel much more composure now in the Broncos offensive backfield with DeBerg in there. He's seeing things. He knows what's going on. It was a zone coverage downfield. Nothing was open. Winder was in the flat. Dump it out there. Let him pick up 4 or 5 yards.
Schmidt, Richardson, Bell, Fisher, Jurison, and Frazier all in the secondary for the Bears. Incomplete. Sampson, the intended receiver, so it'll be 4th down. And Luke Prestridge will come in to catch. Now, Steve Watson, one of the premier receivers in the NFL, draws a lot of attention. He's number 81.
Number 81 in white, being jammed at the line of scrimmage by Todd Bell. Now, Bell has another defensive back deep downfield that's helping cover Watson. Watson just can't get around him and run downfield because there's another guy down there helping out.
And you're allowed that one chuck on a wide receiver within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Prestridge, and he'll go for that left-hand corner. Right-footed kicker. Did he get it? No. Nope. Across the goal line. Touchback. So we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. The score here is Chicago 24 and Denver nothing. San Francisco leads New England 20-6. Cincinnati leads Baltimore 31-21. We'll be back. It is on. There's cheering in the stands as today's game is brought to you by Chevrolet, official U.S. cars and trucks of the 14th Olympic Winter Games. Chevrolet and you taking charge. By Arby's, home of deli specialty sandwiches, including Arby's Sub and Roast Beef Deluxe. And by Michelob Light, an exceptional light beer with a rich, smooth taste. Chicago moving on offense with Jim McMahon at quarterback, Walter Payton and Matt Suhey, the running backs, Willie Gall and Ken Marjoram are the wide receivers. Moorhead is the tight end. Covert, Jackson, Neal, Beckert, Van Horn, that offensive line. Bears from the 20. And McMahon comes out throwing passes complete to Suhey to the 29-yard line. This is reminiscent, coming out throwing to Suhey the way they opened the ball game. Lewis Wright with the tackle.
It's a good play, first down. The one thing you don't want to do, Charlie, when you're up 24-0 is sit on the ball and not do anything offensively.
Now let's go back to that replay and we will just listen to it with the audio of football. They gotta be kidding. They gotta be kidding. Does that kind of sound going all the time?
I don't know. I'm out of that anymore. I feel very good on Monday mornings now.
Walter Payton, flag is down. Do you remember those kind of sounds?
Oh, it was worse than that. When you look at those linebackers and they're yelling and screaming things at you, and guys like Jack Youngblood running by you and saying, "Hey, Bob, hold the ball longer. You're throwing it too quickly."
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
All right, let's check the scoreboard. 3 games in the AFC going on at the same time. Pittsburgh leading Houston 7-3. Seattle, Cleveland still tied 3-3. Cincinnati, Baltimore. Here's a high score, 31-21. They're in the 3rd quarter.
Baltimore's defense has been playing pretty well until today.
Minnesota leading Dallas. These are the NFC games. Look at Green Bay. Whee! Here they go. Philadelphia leading Atlanta. And the interconference games, Washington leading the Raiders by 10, San Francisco in front of New England.
San Francisco played very well on the road.
He's up! He's up!
2nd and 11. The holding penalty against Dan Neal. Going deep, and it is incomplete. Moorhead, the intended receiver, and Steve Foley had excellent position on it.
If Jim McMahon would have had another second to wait for Moorhead to get his path downfield in line, I think this could have been a big play. Could have held it a second longer. This is the difference between Jim McMahon and John Elway. McMahon is getting the protection, Elway didn't, and plus McMahon has been in the league a year. He's got that experience. He's seen a lot of different things. Elway's just learning. McMahon is winning the battle of the quarterbacks here today.
Now go back to what you said. If he holds the ball 1 second longer, then what happens for Moorhead?
Moorhead and his defensive man that was covering him were jiggling for position, and it wasn't clear in the quarterback's mind which path the tight end was going on.
This is complete to Jay Saldi. Near the 35-yard line, it'll be a first down. Tom Jackson with the tackle.
Sets up, looks downfield. This is the easiest pass in football to complete. Get your tight end open right over the middle. It's a short throw, it's a crisp throw, and it's very seldom intercepted. Most often completed for a first down.
35-yard line, first down. We're just about 5 minutes into the third quarter. It's Chicago 24, Denver nothing. Peyton the remaining back. Slot right side. Quick pass to Willie Gault. Flag is down, maybe a face mask. 46-yard line was the end of the play, which will be a first down. Lewis Wright with the tackle. It is the inadvertent face mask on the tackle.
Here we'll see it again. It's just a little stop pattern by the Gault at the bottom of your screen. He goes down 3 steps, gets the ball quickly. If he can break a tackle, there ain't going to be anybody going to catch him. Not in this booth anyway, Charlie. Or on the field.
There it is. That's just inadvertent when you catch the face mask. And they'll tag it on to the end of the play. It was on Lewis Wright, and it's a first down for Chicago at the Denver 49-yard line. Peyton the remaining back. Suey in motion, now he reverses, and McMahon to throw. Heads for the sideline, picks up 7 or 8 yards.
I tell you, I've been impressed with Jim McMahon, the ball game, Charlie. He's doing everything he needs to do. He scrambles when he needs to. He's hitting his receivers, looking the field over, knows where everybody is, and is getting things done. He's moving his ball club.
Gave him 7, so it'll be 2nd and 3. Now, last week they said he was shell-shocked. Came out of the ball game. Vince Evans replaced him. But he's obviously getting a lot better protection, or is it mental as well as physical from a quarterback standpoint?
There's Vince. He's on the sideline talking upstairs. But I think mainly it's if you get good protection, most of the time you're going to have a good chance of succeeding. And he has not been getting that. Mike Ditka said that's been one of their problems. But certainly today their offensive line is playing very, very well.
And Walter Payton may pick up the first down, very close to it. Jim Ryan with the tackle as the juggernaut named the Chicago Bears. The Midway is theirs today.
Midway is theirs, and when your passing game is working, it opens up your running game and helps Walter Payton. And that works in reverse. When your running game is working, you can throw when you want to, throw on first down, and you've got to have both to be a successful offense.
So all those cliches are true.
That's why you've heard them. That's why they're cliches.
Yeah. It is a first down, 38-yard line of Denver. Bears 24, Denver nothing. Peyton 17 carries, 69 yards. Just over 9 minutes to go, third quarter.
Reverse.
Here comes Willie Gault. Oh, he's excited. 16-yard line. Kurt Becker was leading the way. 22 exciting yards for Willie Gault. And we have him isolated. Busick makes the tackle.
Willie Gault can make a lot of things happen. I'll tell you what, the Chicago offense is so much more explosive this year because of this man right here. Not only receiving the ball downfield, but just running a reverse. He gets around the field so fast that Dennis Smith was running from the other side of the field, got beat just because there was no blocker there. He just outran him.
16-yard line, first down. Oh, he is fun to watch. Becker with the block. Matsui. He has a couple of yards to the 14, so it'll be second down and 8. And if the Bears go in to score here, and it looks as if they will, this game becomes a Chicago highlight package. Is what it does.
I like the play selection too, Charlie. They may go in to score, but they're not going for the bombs, and they're not sitting on the ball. They're not running every play. They're throwing on first down. They're running some reverses. They're keeping the Denver defense loose. They don't know where they're going to get hit next.
Second down and 8, 14. Throw to Gault, left corner of the end zone. That's my pick. But you like Walter Payton, don't you? Where does he find that yardage? They shut him down about the 15-yard line, and he ends up at the 11.
I just like the way he hops. He gets the ball, he skips, he hops, he jumps.
He enjoys it. There's no question about it. Boy, what a great talent.
He puts it into low gear. Right here he hops. He doesn't know where he wants to go. I think he slows himself down by jumping up in the air. Sometimes your feet overrun the hole. He jumps up in the air so he can slow himself down.
Barry Hartnett has come in for Becker. A little breather at right guard. 3 wide receivers are in on the set. Third down and 5, 11-yard line. Moral victory for the Broncos. They can hold him to a field goal. Quarterback draw. 4-yard line. Flag is down. He has the first down. That's a call play.
Exactly.
There is a flag on the play.
Again, the advantages of a Jim McMahon. This is a good area of the field to run a draw play in because they're so concerned with covering everybody else. Quarterback oftentimes will be the forgotten man. He can run right up the middle.
What did you think, though, when that play came in? I mean, sometimes you can't be that thrilled with the call.
Number 78, holding.
Holding on Van Horn.
Well, Charlie, it never really came in. It was I always called my own plays.
Oh, that's right.
This was a good area of the field to call it in because, like I say, you get everybody spread out, and everybody is concerned. The defense is concerned about everybody else and not the quarterback. Plus, you know, hot dogs like those quarterbacks like to score touchdowns.
Like everybody else.
Yeah, why not?
They're down 15. 21-yard line. Payton's in motion. Rolling to Payton's side, then looking back right, and throwing into the end zone. Intercepted. A flag is down. Intercepted in the end zone for the touchback.
I think it was past the line of scrimmage, Charlie.
Foley has the interception. The line of scrimmage was the 21.
Man pass was intercepted by Steve Foley.
You're right. And of course it will be reviewed.
Beyond the line of scrimmage, refused, first down.
And Denver will have the ball. Remember, the line of scrimmage was the 21-yard line.
This is just good coverage in the secondary.
And so Steve Foley with the interception. That is his 3rd of the year. The Broncos will have the ball at the 20. We've got a timeout. We'll be back in just a moment.
One company provides cars and trucks.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WMAQ-TV, Channel 5, Chicago.
1st and 10 for the Broncos, their own 20.
And along with the Honey Bears and Bob Greasy, I'm Charlie Jones. It is Chicago 24, Denver nothing. 6:25 left to go, 3rd quarter. Broncos with the ball at their own 20-yard line with Steve DeBerg, the quarterback, in the second half. He has completed 3 of 5 passes for 30 yards. And he's back to throw. Flags are down. Deep over the middle. Upchurch drops the ball. Right in the hands, and Upchurch dropped it. And he beat Frazier on the play. And Leslie Frazier, of course, is the one who has the interception and the touchdown in the first half.
That should never happen. Upchurch knew he had a free play. He got offsides on the defense. could have came out with the other side of that ball, made a big play for the ball for his ball club, but lack of concentration.
Defense, 99, offside.
Dan
First
Hampton
down.
offsides. Tom Glassick in at left guard, number 62.
See, whenever that happens, Charlie, offensively, you know you have a free play. You got the defense offside. Everybody on the offense knew it, and Upchurch knew it too. The problem he let up a little bit. His concentration level wasn't there, and he dropped the football.
Bears have been penalized 6 times, a total of 50 yards. 1st and 5 for Denver. DeBerg to throw. 4 on the pattern. Goes deep, and the pass is complete to Watson at the 49-yard line. A gain of 24. Jeff Fisher with the tackle. DeBerg looks good. He really looks good.
He's not facing the same type of defense as you see Otis Wilson doing a backflip. He's not facing the same type of defense as Elway was facing in the first half.
Why not?
Well, they're not blitzing as much. They're ahead 24 points. They're not showing him all those blitzes. I don't know if it's certainly not just something that's designed for Elway, because they've done it all year. But I think being ahead 24 points, they're trying to stay away from giving up a big play.
1st down. And it's incomplete. Upchurch was the closest man, picked up by Terry Schmidt. But I have a feeling that DeBerg was just throwing the ball out of bounds.
I think that was a good pattern, Charlie. They need to do more of that type of thing, not necessarily throw it out of bounds over Upchurch's head, but the quick passing. Whenever you're playing a defensive team that's given you a lot of problems, there's 3 steps. The quarterback goes 1, 2, 3, and he's ready to throw the ball. You can stop a lot of hard pass rushing teams that way.
And you can see as Elway looks on from the sideline, he's almost throwing on the break itself that the receivers make.
Got to have the ball hanging when they make their break.
DeBerg has completed 4 of 7 for 55 yards. Fumble. He bumped one of his own men, and then when he tried to fire, Hartenstein hit him, and the ball just fell down. This has happened to you because it's happened every quarter.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it was a defensive man that hit him or if he bumped in or if he dropped it himself, but we'll take another look.
We'll all find out together.
We'll take another look and see. Here you see the defense coming in. DeBerg's got good protection, bumps into his own man.
But then the ball was bumped away.
Hartenstein came by and knocked it off, and I think it was a fumble. Problem being there, Charlie, is his own man, his offensive back, Harris, was in the backfield in the quarterback's area, and he couldn't step up into the pocket.
And Dave Studdard recovered the fumble. 7 men in the secondary. 3rd down, 15. Deep, Upchurch is there. He's open, and he misses it. Cannot get to it. Just a step away. He beat Walt Williams. And 1 step away from a touchdown.
The key to this play, when you've got a man open, is give it a little bit more air. DeBerg is back there in good shape. Throws it too much on the line, needs to give it a little bit more air, and by doing that, you give a little bit margin for error if you don't have to throw it perfect right on the money.
To give your receiver an opportunity to run under the ball.
To adjust to it, either slow up a little bit or speed up a little bit.
Prestridge to kick. 41-yard average on 5 kicks. His long 57. 2 have been into the corner, though. Willie Gault is set for the return. Good kick. Gault should let it go. Takes a Denver bounce. Touched at the 9, and then downed again at the 1-yard line. But the first touching was in the neighborhood of the 9-yard line. So Prestridge remains an offensive weapon for the Denver Broncos, in reality about the only one that they've had thus far. Chicago will have the ball, and they have the lead. 4:15 left to go in the 3rd. Bears lead it 24-0. The AFC games, look at this. Houston now, the big underdog. They're leading Pittsburgh in the 4th. Seattle ahead of Cleveland, and Cincinnati still leads Baltimore. Those are the AFC games. We'll update quickly the NFC. We'll come back to those right after this play. Chicago from just inside their own 10-yard line. Here is Peyton. And we'll mark it for 3 yards to the 13. 2nd down and 7. Steve Busick with the tackle. And for the speed readers, here we are again. Now, Minnesota 24. Look at that. 3rd quarter leading Dallas. Green Bay 49-7 over Tampa Bay. Philadelphia leading Atlanta. 2 interconference games. Washington is still leading the Raiders by 10, and San Francisco out in front of New England. And here it is Chicago 24 and Denver nothing.
Green Bay's making up for their poor showing against the Giants last week.
They're doing it all at once, aren't they?
All at once. They needed some of that last week.
Walter Payton, 19 carries, 75 yards. McMahon to Payton to the 15-yard line, so it'll go for 2. And it'll be 3rd down and 5. Walter Payton not only is an excellent runner and an excellent receiver, he also is a good quarterback. He can throw the ball. He also can kick extra points, kick off, and punt.
Can he do all that?
Yes. Maybe one of the greatest natural athletes in the history of the NFL.
Well, Vince Evans might be right there with him.
Right there with
Vince
him.
Evans, who we may see pretty soon in this ball game, is a great athlete also. Of course, Walter Payton's thrown 2 touchdown passes this year. I'm certainly sure you won't see that today. They don't need it.
Galt showing a little motion. McMahon throwing. That one's up for grabs, and it's intercepted. Steve Foley has the interception, his 2nd of the ball game. And that is simply a mistake on the part of Jim McMahon. Kurt Becker with the tackle. That's almost a rookie mistake, even though this is his 2nd year. You don't throw it up for grabs.
McMahon is talking to Willie Galt and telling him we should have went this way or that way, but you can't expect a rookie to know that. You've got to, he's throwing the ball into the middle of the field. Foley sees it. Should have had Foley as a receiver. Willie Galt didn't know what he wanted and didn't move into that area.
When we come back, Denver will have the ball at the 32. Vince Evans is beginning to loosen up on the sideline for the Chicago Bears, so he could well be coming in on the next series of downs. Update on that Pittsburgh-Houston score. Cliff Stout, a touchdown pass, 51 yards to Abercrombie, and it is Pittsburgh 14, Houston 10. That score just coming in. Denver now at the Chicago 32-yard line. The Broncos are scoreless in the ballgame. Man has been intercepted 3 times, but he hasn't been hurt. Knocked away. Good defensive play. Watson, the intended receiver. Flag goes down. My look, it was a good defensive play. We'll have another look, of course. They're going to call pass interference against the Bears. And we're isolated on Watson. Let's see.
A bump and run by Schmidt. He gets his hands on him, which is legal.
Defense, number 44.
They're going to call it because of the bumping prior to the ball getting there. Borderline call, but a good call.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
He had a good jam at the line of scrimmage, and he came upfield. That bump wasn't that bad. We'll take another look at it. That is legal right there. And where he gets called is for this right here. That's a pretty close call for me. I got to let him play on that one.
Okay. But I'm going to win because Blitz is on, loops it into the end. This one's thrown up for grabs, and it's intercepted by the Bears for a touchback.
But there's a penalty, Charlie, and he knew he had a free throw. That's the only reason he threw it up.
Okay. Then that's a veteran call.
There you go. You got it. I look out for those quarterbacks.
You do.
I didn't like the throw. It was too high and wobbly, but
why not if you've got a free down on a penalty?
That's right. He didn't have the time and the protection to do it.
Defense, number 68. Offside.
Jim Osborne, offside. Now let's go to New York in NFL 83.
At the Bear 15.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. Moments ago in Pittsburgh, Cliff Stout chased out of the pocket, on the run. You won't see a better pass on the run. Here he goes with the flip. Walter Abercrombie streaks down 51 yards. The Steelers regain the lead. Back to Chicago now.
And running with the ball is Poole into the end zone. And Denver is on the board. Let's go back to that update just for a moment. And that is the fact that Cliff Stout's a veteran, but he hadn't played that much. This, in a way, is his rookie year, so he has a lot of problems playing well today. Now back to the touchdown.
We'll take a look at it. This is the first time all day that the Broncos have had good field position inside Chicago's 50-yard line. They're blitzing. Singletary up the middle. Good move by Poole. He should have been tackled in the backfield, but give him credit. He made that play and got into the end zone. This is what they need, somebody to take a spark and make big plays for him and make something happen. That play should have been in the backfield. Poole gets it in the end zone.
And Carlos sails it high into the north stand. And it's a 24-7 ball game. So the Broncos are on the scoreboard with that 32-yard touchdown drive following the interception. And another look at the touchdown. It's 24-7. We'll be back. Nathan Poole just scoring his first touchdown of the year. And Rich Carlos will be kicking off. Anthony Hutchinson is the deep back. Onside kick. Has to go 10 yards. Then be recovered. Hit for the defense. Free ball. Denver has it.
Other way, other way.
It's Denver's ball at 26. Mike Harden.
Jim Marshall, where are you?
David Simmons making the tackle. But it's Denver's ball. Has to go 10 yards.
10 yards right there. Hits 51 of the Bears.
Atkins. As soon as it's hit by, even if it doesn't go 10, if it's hit by the receiving team, then it's a live ball for recovery.
Exactly right. If they come across that 10-yard barrier and touch it, it's a free ball.
Now let's take another look. Now onside kick, another note out of the rule book, may be recovered but not advanced. Of course, this one wasn't advanced technically.
Good play by the kicking team to go down and hit the man that's trying to receive the ball. Create something, let the other players come and get it. Mike Harden did a good job.
The point of the recovery was the 38-yard line. Harden now shaken up just a bit after that.
It's a good call by Dan Reeves. You're down 24-7. You got in the third quarter. The other team is not expecting it, so you go down there and get the ball. It's a good call.
And the ball is marked at the 38-yard line. That's the point of recovery. Ditka is saying that should be a penalty for delay of game.
I think Mike ought to show a little bit more emotion when he gets upset. May help him.
Pass is complete. Chaparro's out of the backfield, and 2 flags are down. So all of a sudden, this game is beginning to get a bit out of hand.
Well, the emotion and the momentum is certainly changing. The fans are getting upset. The Bear defense has lost it had the offense of the Denver Broncos in its hand. Now it's losing it. They've scored a touchdown. They've gotten the ball back. DeBerg is 4 of 8 for 55 yards, no interceptions, and he's moving the ball club.
Wilson and Raines were there for the defense.
Defense, face mask.
Face mask.
Number 53.
On 53, Dan Raines. So the ball is now at the Chicago 48-yard line.
At the Bears' 48-yard line.
But you're right. The whole feel of the game has changed.
Let's see if the Chicago Bear defense comes back and does what they did in the first half, that being more aggressive and blitzing DeBerg.
They have a 4-man rush, deep far side, pattern, tipped, incomplete. Good coverage by Terry Schmidt, number 44. Upchurch, the intended receiver. He just pinned him against the sideline, didn't give him any room to work at all.
2nd and 10 at the Bear 48.
It's good coverage by Schmidt. He was just running him to the sideline, just shadowing him, running step for step, and the closer they got to the sideline, the better it was for the defensive coverage.
Scoring on the Washington Raiders, it is now Washington 20, and the Raiders 14 as Plunkett has thrown his 2nd touchdown pass of the ballgame. 2nd and 10. Chicago 48-yard line. 1:52 time remaining, 3rd quarter. 24-7. Chicago leading. They've led all the way. Pass complete to Perros. Inside the 40-yard line. And so while we sort things out here, let's go to New York and NFL 83.
All right, Charlie, you just mentioned the Jim Plunkett touchdown pass. Here's a look at it. 36 yards, a gorgeous reception by Calvin Muhammad. There it is. The Raiders now within 6. Quickly back to Chicago now.
Raiders really have their work cut out for them today against Washington. Washington was a slight favorite, but from the reports that we get in the updates from New York that Lynn Berman is doing for us, is that they don't seem to have the spark quite that we normally expect the Raiders to have.
I'd never count the Raiders out.
That's true. That's true. 3rd down, about half a yard for the 1st down here. First down. Sammy Winder to the just inside the 36-yard line in the 1st down. Al Harris and Leslie Frazier on the tackle. Now, one of the reasons you never count the Los Angeles Raiders out is they wear black jerseys, and you didn't like to play teams that wore black jerseys, right?
Well, you know, I think it's a lot of National Football League is psychological. Certainly a lot of it is physical, but there are certain teams that can't beat other teams, and one of the reasons that the Dolphins always had problems playing certain teams like the Raiders, and they proved that just recently, was because of the black jerseys. I just didn't feel like we played well against teams that wore black.
Great catch at the 15-yard line. Terry Schmidt making the tackle on Steve Watson as DeBerg is on target.
It was a great throw by DeBerg and a great catch by Watson. Good coverage by Terry Schmidt. Blitzing linebacker Singletary decides not to blitz and is chasing his man. Here's a good throw. Inside, double coverage. Todd Bell was right there to help out. The momentum of this game is changing. We have another whole quarter to play. If the Broncos can score here, it'd be very interesting.
And we'll be right back after these messages from your local station. This game is being brought to you by Jeep Cherokee and Jeep Wagoneer. When it comes to four-wheel drive, one word says it all, Jeep. By AT&T Information Systems, and by a tool for modern times, the IBM personal computer. Score in on the Baltimore-Cincinnati game. Cincinnati 31, Baltimore 27. And here it is, Chicago 24, Denver 7, as we start the fourth quarter with Denver on the move at the Chicago 15-yard line. There's a look at the scoring by quarters. 24 for Chicago in the first half. Denver leads the second half, 7-0, as you saw. Flag down. Bears offside. Into the end zone and turned around was Jim Wright. Couldn't pull it in. So we picked up a Chicago Bear in the neutral zone. May have been Al Harris, the defensive right end. So that'll take the ball to the 10-yard line. It'll be first down and 5. Right at the top of the screen it is. It's Al Harris. Yeah.
Right, number 90. Quarterback can do this, Charlie, by varying his snap count, his cadence. He can get the call first.
All right, now, show me what you mean by varying the cadence.
If it's on 3, you might say set 3, 9, 290, 290, hut, hut, hut. Or you might say hut, hut, hut. You can vary the distance in between those snaps.
Okay. There was an example. Looping, timing pass. Watson, corner, knocked away.
Good play, Terry Schmidt.
Boy, that was tight coverage.
It certainly was. It was a throw you see so often down inside the 15-yard line, bump and run coverage. Just throw the ball high and outside. It becomes a jumping match, and Schmidt certainly has seen a few of those in his day.
Here's another look.
Probably a checkoff. You usually do this when you see bump and run coverage. You check to this call, try to get it outside. The object of the wide receiver is to freeze him at the line and then get around him.
DeBerg, whistle sound before the play goes off. Hartenstein may have made contact. DeBerg 7 of 13 for 94 yards since he's come into the ball game. It's going to be a legal procedure, drawn offside against Denver.
Now sometimes, Charlie, the quarterback, when he could put it on 4, he could pull off his own men.
And sometimes you can forget what the count is.
Well,
offense, number 76. False start. Second down.
You know, a lot of times when you're trying to pull the defensive lineman off, you'll pull your own guys off. So he's got one for the good guys and one for the other guys.
That was Ken Lanier. So it is second down and 10. The ball at the 15-yard line. In a way, might be an advantage. It gives him 5 more yards to work with because he only has a total of 25 to the back edge of the end zone. Just Ford in the pocket, throws it up and almost saved. Nathan Poole couldn't quite pull it down. Hartenstein was really putting the pressure on DeBerg. So now it's third down.
Threw it to the right guy, Charlie. As we see the snap, and as DeBerger's going back there, you're double covering both wide receivers. You have to throw it to your tight end or one of your 2 backs. Send the back out of the backfield and let him run an option. Let him break to the inside or to the outside on the linebacker or defensive back that's covering him. Give him an option. Send him down. But you got to throw those 3 inside people because they're doubling everybody outside.
Third down and 10, 15-yard line.
First thing you got to do is worry about the blitz.
does.
Get in there.
Touchdown. Just barely making it, Rick Upchurch. The ball has to break the plane of the goal line. That is the edge of the white line, right at the edge of the field of play. Terry Schmidt was the man he was leaning against. What's the end of the play?
You're going to see a good shot of DeBerg stepping around the rush. We talked about in the first half. Good catch by Upchurch. Now he's got to stretch. He's got to stretch.
With the ball.
In
Got
there.
it.
The end zone, the end line is in the end zone.
That's right.
Of play.
Yep. So it's 24-13. Here's Carlos with the extra point. Brand new ball game. And it is good.
The kick is good.
24-14.
24.
14 minutes, 32 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. The Broncos within 10.
Before they scored these 14 points, Mike Ditka was going to put Vince Evans in. Be interesting to see now whether he goes in ahead and puts in a cold quarterback or he goes back to Jim McMahon. We'll be right back.
Onside kick that set up the 62-yard drive in 8 plays. Now, do you do it again?
I don't think so. You're down 10 points. You've got a whole quarter to play. You've got momentum on your side. You've got a new quarterback coming in for the Chicago Bears. I think you kick it off in coverage and let your defense play tough defense for you.
McMahon is on the bench, so it is going to be Vince Evans. He may have been brought out of the game because of that interception he threw up, do you think?
Jerked is a better word.
All right. Willie Gault at the 2-yard line. Gault to the 10. 15, look at the speed. 25 in Alabama. He's learning. He is learning. This is only his 5th game. Don't punish your body unnecessarily.
Exactly. It's a good move by Willie Gault, though. He started up the middle to draw in all of the Denver Broncos into the middle of the field, and then he cut around the outside. He's learning very quickly.
There's that scoring drive, the 15-yard pass to Upchurch. 25 yards on that return by Gault. Upchurch's touchdown, his first of the year. And Chicago goes to work with their own 28. Vince Evans. He has completed 51.6% of his passes. He's thrown for a touchdown. He's been intercepted 4 times. He has generated offense when he has been in there. He has generated the offense this year.
He's also made a couple big mistakes.
Little play action to open it up. Fires on target. Willie Gault. Watch him go. This is a touchdown. Oh, my, what a way to open. 72 yards. Woo! His second touchdown of the day, his 6th of the year. Hello, all rookie.
Said, Charlie, Vince Evans can make some big plays or some big mistakes. Here he rifles the ball. It's just a little curl in front of Harden. Gault evades him, and it's off to the races. There's nobody's going to catch him now. Talk about turning the momentum around very quickly. Excitement in Chicago.
Extra point by Thomas is good. It's 31-14. And the reaction of Vince Evans in his first pass of the game.
He rifles this ball. He's looking around. He knows it's over with right now. Right now, he knows he's going to touch.
All right. 3 receptions, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the game breaker.
That ain't all bad for 3 quarters work.
And in the 5th game of your NFL career. Wilson to the 15, to the 20, to about the 23-yard line. Willie Gault, the man of the afternoon. Second leg of the 4x100 world record relay. And he really, with his speed, shot out of a cannon that set it up in Helsinki. Now, from 40 yards in with the clock on him, with the running start, 40 yards, unofficial, 4.1 seconds. Woo!
That's just close to what I used to run it at, Charlie, at the end of my career.
Woo! I'm not sure I could drive that fast. All right, now let's see what Denver can do now that momentum has switched back to the Bears. DeBerg over the middle. From the 23 to the 31, going to Jim Wright, his tight end. Otis Wilson with the tackle along with Mike Singletary. Gain of 8, so it'll be second down and a couple. Some scores coming in. Minnesota, Dallas closing on Minnesota. Vikings lead at 24-20. Pittsburgh 17, Houston 10. Anderson with a field goal for Pittsburgh. Washington, ooh, how about this? And we'll have an update on this, I'm sure. Jim Plunkett, another touchdown pass. The Raiders leading Washington.
Come on, Danny, get there, Danny.
DeBerg to Watson. 44-yard line. Gain of 13 and a first down. Terry Schmidt with the tackle.
So we see again DeBerg moving around. It's a blitz situation. If Watson can break this tackle, he could do something big like Galt did. Terry Schmidt coming up just wants to make the tackle. Don't give me any hard hits. Just make sure that you don't get away from me like Galt did a second ago. Shadowing him right down the sideline. Now Schmidt knows he's beat. He says, just let me tackle you and get you out of bounds because I don't have anybody helping.
First down, Denver. 12:38, time remaining in the ball game. DeBerg going deep. Upchurch. Intercepted. Bears have it. Terry Schmidt with the interception.
Go.
Schmidt has his 5th interception of the year.
That was a great interception, Charlie. He laid there on the turf for a second. I think he was hurt, and his instincts told him to get up and run. We'll be right back after this word.
Interception by Terry Schmidt.
It's a good play. The throw could have been down further, I think. Upchurch would have had more of a chance. A good block. He lands on his shoulder. Realizes that he can get up and run. I don't think he's got enough breath to run. I don't think it's his shoulder. They're looking at him on the sideline, giving him a little oxygen.
And he's holding his hip.
Holding his hip.
And then they worked on him. He's now sitting on the right end of the bench, and was shaken up obviously, but
the blocker that came in to throw a block for him may have hit him.
So Chicago has the ball at their own 15-yard line. Vince Evans, the quarterback. Here's Walter Payton, 23-yard line. Gain of 8. It'll be second down and 2. Report is a hip bruise on Terry Schmidt. Mike Harden making that last tackle. Moving on the 12-minute mark of time remaining. Chicago 31, Denver 14.
There was a good shot of Walter Payton stepping quickly to his right, your left. And the reason he does that is the linebackers are keying on him. Whichever way he goes, they start to run immediately. And by stepping that way and acting like you're going to run that way, it gets them moving and helps your offensive line to get out there and make the blocks, and then you cut back.
There's Terry Schmidt with that bruised hip, but seems to be moving all right. Payton, 82 yards in 20 carries. He's the remaining back. And he'll have the first down. 26-yard line, picks up 3, and the first down. Mecklenburg making the tackle. 2 interconference games going on. Plunkett now has thrown 3 touchdown passes, including a 99-yarder to Cliff Branch, leading Washington.
Never count the Raiders out.
You never doubted. Huh? You were right. San Francisco still leading New England 30-13. Those are the other 2 interconference games. In this game, Chicago 31, Denver 14.
Of course, the Raiders can do that either way. They'll jump out in front of you by 20 points, and then they'll catch up. But they always seem to come out on top.
First down, Evans to throw. Far side, drills it, no good. Going to Willie Goff, and Lewis Wright, no. That was Marjoram, the intended receiver, and Wright hit the cover. So it'll be second and 10 at the 26.
We'll see Evans setting up. Boy, he's got a strong arm. I'm impressed with his arm strength. Throws the ball a little bit too far downfield. He needed to draw the receiver back toward him a little bit, and he had a completion, but he threw the ball a little bit too far downfield. Jan
Stenerud has kicked another field goal. It's Green Bay 55, Tampa Bay 7. 55-7. Then Dickey, 2 touchdown passes in that ball.
You got to be down to the 3rd string in that game.
Fumble. Ball is loose. Payton recovers. Diving back on it at the 23. Loss of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 13. Mecklenburg and Stokowski were there for Denver. Boyer is in defensively, so they're looking at a rookie defensive line.
You wonder how something like that can happen. It's an easy toss. Evans may be the best athlete on the team. If he's not, it's probably Walter Payton. One good athlete throwing it to another. They do that so often in practice. You know, it could be a simple thing of Payton taking his eyes off of looking at the blocking. It could be a gust of wind coming and the ball not going the way it should go. But those things happen. As long as you go to play football, you'll have fumbles.
Galt in motion. Evans over the middle, and this is intercepted. Denver with the ball. It is Dennis Smith with the interception. Baschnagel making the tackle for the Bears. Marjoram, the intended receiver.
Intercepted by Dennis Smith.
And that is the 4th interception for the Broncos. Steve Foley has 2, Mike Harton has 1, and Dennis Smith has his first of the ball game, his 3rd of the year.
Mike Ditka can't believe it. All he wants is to control the ball, run up some time. We have 9 minutes and 47 seconds left to play. We said when Evans first got in, he can make some big plays, which he showed you, but he can also make some mistakes. Throws the ball too far to the inside. Smith, who is an excellent defensive back for the Broncos.
7'2" high jumper.
7'2" high jumper. Has had 2 sacks this year, and this is his 3rd interception. Broncos score. They're right back in the ballgame.
Denver 31. Denver at the Chicago 31. And a sack. Hartenstein got him. And we have that as the 3rd sack for the Chicago Bears. And that means that the Broncos, their quarterback tandem, has been sacked a total of 23 times this year. Most sacked team in the NFL.
Step up in the pocket. Didn't have any room. He had Paris was there again in the pocket area. The quarterback needs to go deep to let the defensive ends have a target at him and then step up into the pocket. John Elway standing on the sideline, learning a lot from his first half experience, and then also watching on the sideline.
That was the 6th time that a Denver quarterback has been sacked in the ballgame. Jim Wright gets it back and picks up 22 yards on the play. Jeff Fisher with the tackle. So it is 6 sacks for the Chicago Bears and a 1st down for the Denver Broncos.
1st and 10 for the Broncos.
Good protection this time. Throws a good touch pass to his tight end, who's got the single coverage. Singletary, linebacker covering the tight end. That's a mismatch. Singletary not that good of a coverage man. Very good against the run.
1st down at the Chicago 17-yard line. Final in Pittsburgh 17, Houston 10. That is a final. Pittsburgh 11 of 19, 152 yards. Little play action. And the 7th sack. Singletary got it. 7 sacks for the Bears, 27 on the year for the Bronco quarterback.
We'll see DeBerg turns his back. I think these quarterbacks would be much better off without the play action, where they could just drop straight back and see the blitz coming, and if it does come, get rid of the ball. DeBerg's not too happy about it. Singletary's, he couldn't be happier.
Bears showing a 5-man front with Hartenstein, Osborne, McMichael, Hampton, and Harris. Flags are down. The ball squirts loose. Paul Howard ended up with it. The penalty will be against the Broncos, so they're self-destructing now with an opportunity to get right back in the ballgame.
That's exactly right. They're sacked. They've sacked themselves. Poor, sloppy execution.
Ball start. Offense. Number 17.
That's on the quarterback.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. If you got
21.
Quarterbacks do that every now and then, Charlie. This is how a defense can intimidate you. You're looking around, you're seeing 22 up there, you're thinking he's going to safety blitz, you just got sacked, you move a little bit soon. There's a case where he forgot the snap count. He thought it was on 1, he started moving, it was on 2, the ball didn't come up in time. Now they're coming this time. Here they come.
2nd and 21.
Throw it.
That is the 8th sack. Dave Dorson. 7 officially, they call it. That's a whole pot full of sacks.
Yes, sir.
The rookie from Notre Dame got him.
2 hands at least to count the number of sacks. Here we'll see him coming right up the middle. The back tries to pick him up. DeBerg, what he needs to do is read it. He cannot take 3 or 4 seconds to throw the ball. You have to have sight adjustments by your receivers. They have to run quick routes. You have to take 3 steps and throw the ball.
Todd Bell was also there. That corrected total in the sacks is 7. They've lost 54 yards. I'm going to stop counting the sacks. Remember a moment ago they were at the 17-yard line. Whistle sound. The line of scrimmage is now the 37, and all kinds of mistakes are happening. Al Harris, he's going to amble into the end zone. Watch this. He's going to make sure and spiked himself at the left end zone. There he is. Just jumped across the line.
He's 60 yards from where everybody else is.
But in case there's a mistake, he wants to say, you know, I was down here.
What happened, Charlie? DeBerg got up to the line of scrimmage and looked around and saw that somebody on his team was lined up incorrectly and disgustedly called for a timeout. I don't know if he said something or not, but then the center snapped the ball in the shotgun and the ball went running back. Here, we'll take a look at it. He's trying to tell him, you're in the wrong position. Give me a timeout, doggone it.
That's a very definitive move.
And then the center snapped the ball, and of course they were awarded a timeout.
And the 30-second clock was also down to 2 while all of this was happening. And we have another score in. Pluckett with another touchdown. 28-20, Raiders leading Washington just in.
Disgust. There goes the ball. Did you say Plunkett had another touchdown?
Another touchdown. That's 4 touchdown passes.
They are a team that when they're on a roll, whether in a single game or in a series of 4 or 5 games, they're very tough to stop.
All right, now let's figure out where we are here. The line of scrimmage is the 37-yard line. Not too long ago, it was a first down at the 17, and it will be 3rd down and 30.
You know, we've been talking a lot about the Bears today, Charlie, and their nickel defense, their dime defense when they bring in 2 defensive backs, and when they bring in 3, when they call it in the trade a quarter, nickel dime quarter. Where did this all start? It started when the offenses started putting in a 3rd wide receiver on passing situations, or even a 4th wide receiver, or substituting good pass receiving backs into the backfield. They start going to 4, 5, and 6 defensive backs, and that's where the nickel came from.
Pass is complete at the 31-yard line to Zach Thomas. So he'll pick up about 6 yards on the play. It'll be 4th down and still 24 to go. Walt Williams was there for the defense.
26.
Now they're going to spot at the 33-yard line. Now, update on the interconference. There's that Raiders score, 28-20, leading Washington. San Francisco still in front of New England, 33-13, and here the Bears still lead Denver, 31-14.
San Francisco is back. They are playing very good football, beating New England at Foxborough when New England was playing very well.
It is 4th down. 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. Clock is moving. Trailing 31-14. Why not? 10-yard line. It is caught. It will be about 3 yards shy of the 1st down. Steve Watson pulling it in. And the Bears will take over on down.
Good protection this time. A little in pattern where he goes down and breaks to the inside. It's a good call. You have a chance to have a defensive interference or defensive holding, get a 1st down. That wasn't the case. You do it enough times, though, and it'll work in your favor.
The head coach of the Chicago Bears, and he does get excited during the ball. The cast upset last week after the ball game with the loss, and he took it out on a big locker.
On a big trunk.
On a big trunk.
Equipment trunk.
Broke his hand.
I don't think he'll be doing that today, though.
I wouldn't want to play equipment trunk in his locker. Fumble!
Oh.
Peyton fumbled the ball, scramble. It is still loose. Walter almost pulled it back in. Bears have it.
This fumble was recovered by Willie Gault.
Is it Willie Gault? Yes. The man who scored 2 touchdowns recovers the fumble.
Willie Gault is where the ball is, where the action is. A missed handoff between Peyton and Vince Evans. Now the ball's a free ball. Now the defense really needs to get on it. This is where you see the mental toughness. Who wants it bad enough? Ball's hanging around there. 3 Bears get to it.
Tampa Bay has scored, so that makes it 55-14. Green Bay leading in that game. Calvin Thomas, and he is met at the 18-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down. And a couple of yards ago, Steve Busick was there for the Broncos along with Randy Gradishar.
Brought down by Mecklenburg.
You know, Charlie, we've been talking a lot today about the blitzing of the Chicago Bears. It's been their history down through the years to blitz. They've changed coordinators, head coaches, and they continue to blitz. And one way a quarterback can tell when a blitz is coming is sometimes by the alignment of the secondary, but more often by looking into the eyes of the defensive linebackers. Most of the time when they're not blitzing, they'll just look around or whatever. Maybe 10% of the time when they're blitzing, they look right at you. They're really hyped up, like they've got fire in their eyes. You know, you know they're coming.
Evans on a rollout is shy of the 1st down, but there's a flag on the play. Boyer with the tackle.
On the play.
Holding against the offense, and that will be refused, I'm sure, and it'll be 4th down and 1. And Chicago will be kicking. 4:40 time remaining in the ball game. 31-14. Chicago has led all the way, although the Broncos did make a stand and did start to come back in the 2nd half.
And then the big play people. Willie Gault stepped to the forward, caught a little curl, 20-yard curl, and ran it in for a long touchdown that really put the game out of reach for the Broncos.
A gain of 2. 4th and 1.
In the AFC, 3 games going on. 1 final is in. Pittsburgh over Houston 17-10. 4th quarter, Seattle, they're exciting.
Chuck
leading.
Knox turned them around.
17-9, 4th quarter score. Baltimore getting a little closer. Parsons with the kick. Zach Thomas with the return. Good coverage. Dave Duerson, the rookie from Notre Dame, down very quickly. But Denver does have the ball, and there's still some time remaining. 4:29. But the Broncos, of course, need to score as soon as possible because the Bears have time on their side. Beginning Tuesday night, be with us on NBC. All the excitement of the American National League Championship Series. That coverage begins Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the home of the National League West Division winner. Of course, that being the Dodgers. Wednesday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We'll be in Baltimore, and the White Sox will be there. That'll be the start of the American League Championship Series. All of the great playoff action, both leagues. Stay with us here on NBC. Flag is down, and the Berg is caught from behind by Al Harris. But there was a marker back at the 26-yard line. Gorgeous afternoon, the temperature in the low 80s. They're sailing. Look at the sailboats on Lake Michigan.
Beautiful day, Charlie.
It really is. And the stadium, there's a good look at it. The stadium has been completely redone, renovated, and is in, great shape.
I've not been back here in 3 or 4 years. Played a couple of times in Soldier Field. The skyboxes are beautiful. All the seats are chair-backed. The field is in good shape. The lighting has been replaced, I understand. This is really a quality stadium. The way it is, it's really, I'm really very impressed.
You played in the holding is the call in the old All-Star game, both as a collegiate All-Star and also as an NFL champion.
Chicago All-Star game. We played the Green Bay Packers when I was a senior coming out of school.
But that was fun.
Yes, it was. Lots of fun. Felt like John Elway out there today.
Here's the draw. Winder just keeps plugging along to the 32-yard line. So you'll pick up about 7 yards on the play. Flags go flying. A little bit of everything is happening. We have a final in. It is, look at this, from behind. Baltimore 34, Cincinnati 31. That's the final. Baltimore, they're now 3-2. Cincinnati is 1-4.
Unbelievable. That game was in Cincinnati, too.
Oh,
After
yes.
the play, 64 white, 43 black, Unsportsmanlike conduct between downs.
See if we can get a look at this.
Winder. Unsportsmanlike conduct between downs is the call.
Bill Bryan, 64, the center for the Broncos, took off after Walt Williams of the Bears for some altercation, for some reason, and Williams, being a small defensive back, says, I'm not going to stand around and fight with you and a big offensive lineman. They ran about 20 yards downfield. Bryan was chasing him. That's what took so long to get the ball back down here.
Discretion, the better part of valor. Here's another sack. McMichael and Hampton got it.
This is getting ridiculous now. It's getting embarrassing for the offensive line.
That is 9 sacks, 29 on the year. Woo.
What is happening, Charlie? They're getting beat physically, number one. There's no way they're not getting beat physically. But number two, they're getting beat mentally. Durison is up there jumping around. They don't know which guy to block. If the safeties are coming, one of the offensive linemen has to come in there. Jeez. Well, I'll tell you what. That's. If I were John Elway, I'm glad I'm on the sideline. It could have been John. One thing in talking to Elway before the game is part of his problem has been the system for the Broncos is odd to the right. The odd numbers are right and their even numbers are left. I came up under that system under George Wilson and played 3 years under that system, and after 3 years I still had to think twice just to get the play call. It's very difficult to learn that type of system.
3rd down and 21. 3:33 time remaining here. Safety blitz is coming. Flags are down. And it is incomplete. But on the blitz, Mike Richardson may have been into the neutral zone before the ball was snapped.
The coverage to Mike Richardson. There are flags.
Defense just having a lot of fun. They're running everything.
Well, they're just letting everything hang out. They're not hiding anything. They're working on next week's game. Whoever they play next week's going to see these films.
Offside, defense, holding, offense, offset.
Why not?
Replay.
Why not replay it? Minnesota will be here against the Bears. Denver will be at Houston next week.
Minnesota will see these defensive game films, and they'll see all the things the Bears do. And you'll work on that all week. And your linemen will get in the ball game next week, and they'll be a little apprehensive. The Bears will be faking it. They'll be coming up. They'll be going back. So it gives more pressure to the offensive team that you're playing when you're an aggressive defensive team such as the Bears are.
Don't forget the second half of the doubleheader. San Diego, the Giants, Miami at New Orleans. So many of you watching this game will be going to one of those 2 ball games here on NBC today. So it's a full afternoon of football. Pass is complete at the 30-yard line to Zach Thomas. Thomas outside the 40. Thomas to the 42-yard line. Now that was 3rd down and 21. And he's going to be about 3 yards shy of the 1st down. You might as well go for it. Walt Williams with the tackle.
You got to give him credit. He knows which way is north. Just a little outlet pattern underneath the defense. The Bears were in a deep zone that time. Once he gets by a couple of guys, he said, let me head down north here. Maybe I can run by a few of you black jerseys and make something happen. Almost breaks it.
They're really royal blue, dark blue.
Well, I wish you would have told me that when I was playing it, Charlie, because I would have felt a lot better knowing they were dark blue than black.
Timing pass far side is incomplete. DeBerg now 14 of 23 for 197 yards and a touchdown. And Chicago takes over on downs. Seattle has scored again. They lead Cleveland now 24-9. And the Raiders have scored again. It's 35-20. Raiders in front of Washington by 15.
Here you see all of the Chicago Bears up there. It's an all-out blitz. Denver is going to continue to see this blitzing in the games to come until they show the teams that they can handle it. Certainly John Elway didn't handle it. DeBerg has had a little bit more success, but until you handle that, you're going to get a steady diet of it from week to week.
So Chicago takes over at the Denver 42. 2:27 time remaining. Bears lead it 31-14. They've led the whole ball game. Here's Walter Payton. Payton to the 38-yard line, so he picks up 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Well, I don't understand that, Charlie. We got 2 minutes and 15 seconds. The Bears are ahead 31-14, and Walter Payton who was injured last week, was questionable coming into this ball game, is still in there.
Well, maybe he needs to work.
He doesn't need to work.
He has 91 yards and 22 carries. Maybe they want to get him 9 more yards. And that would be his 51st game over 100 yards.
If you were the head coach,
I'd get him out. I'd get him out. We've got a 2-minute warning, so we're going to be going away. Chicago 31, Denver 14. And right now, here comes another one of those fantastic finishes. Minutes to go, and it's Chicago 31, Denver 14. And the Bears have the ball at the Bronco 38-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6. AFC scores. Final, Pittsburgh over Houston. 4th quarter, Seattle leading Cleveland. Final, Baltimore beating Cincinnati 34-31. Big upset there. 2nd and 6. Peyton again.
That's what they're doing, Charlie. He's going for 100 yards, and I don't really agree with it.
Let's check the scores of the NFC games. 4th quarter, Dallas coming from behind again. I think they've done that every game this year. 34-24, they lead 4th quarter. Final, Green Bay, 55-14.
Battle of the Bays.
Oh, yes, and the Greens won over the Tampas. And in the 4th quarter, it's Atlanta leading Philadelphia 24-21.
If something happens to Walter Payton, God forbid, he gets hurt on this, they'll be second-guessing themselves. Mike Ditka and his staff are leaving him in there just to get 100 yards. I think if it comes naturally, it's fine, but if you're forcing it, it's something else.
Evans on a bootleg, and he goes out of bounds. Woodward chasing him. Now, those other 2 interconference games, with the big one, of course, being the Raiders in Washington, 4th quarter, and look at that now. Los Angeles leading by 15, 35-20, trailing early in that ball game.
Were they trailing 20-0 in that game?
I'd have to check the card.
They may have been.
Check the card.
20-7.
All right, while we're sorting that out, it is 4th down. Bob Parsons to kick. 1:13 left in the game. He'll go for the corner. And he gets it. Boy, he can play the corners here. That bounces out at the 7-yard line. And so Denver will take over on their own 7-yard line, 1st down, 28 yards on the kick. Washington led 20-7. That was it.
Okay.
And since then, 28 unanswered points. And then it was answered, no, then they just scored. Theismann and Charlie Brown. So it's 35-27. Raiders over Washington. So that one's getting close, and 6 minutes still to go in that ball game at last report. So it's not over till the fat lady sings. What, you know, there's
not over till it's over.
That's right. This one may be, though. 31-14, Denver with the ball. 1:05 left to go. Don't forget the 2nd half of the doubleheader over most of these stations. So stay with us for a full afternoon of National Football League action. The bird from the end zone, and it is incomplete. Winder the intended receiver, so it'll be 2nd down and 10 with 59 seconds left to go. And the line of scrimmage, the Broncos 7-yard line. Here's a final: Seattle 24, Cleveland 9. That's a final. And of course, they'll be updating all of the scores throughout the 2nd half of the doubleheader in NFL 83. We'll be back at halftime of the 2nd half of the doubleheader with scores and highlights of all the action today. What do you think about the Bears?
Well, I'm impressed with the Bears' offense. Their offense is really a big play offense, plus they've got Walter Payton. The key is their offensive line. If they played the way they did today, they certainly can do a lot of things.
From the end zone, and it is caught by Jim Wright, the tight end, and he goes out of bounds, stopping the clock. 52 seconds left to go. Now, what do you think about the Denver Broncos?
Well, their problem is their offensive line and their young quarterback. You know, if they had a good offensive line, as we see Jim Wright on a little out pattern on Todd Bell, if they had a good offensive line, they would still have offensive problems because of a young rookie quarterback. he is the best young quarterback to come out of college in a long, long time, but he's still a rookie quarterback. But they don't have a good offensive line. They've had problems in that area, and so they've got not only quarterback problems, but offensive line problems.
Keith Bishop has been in replacing Bill Bryan at offensive center, so it's Stutter, Glassick, Bishop, Howard, and Lanier in that offensive line. Wright, the intended receiver. Frazier with the coverage. Incomplete, 47 seconds left.
As we look at John Elway, and he's looking at the Chicago Bear defense, they've been very dominant today. This is a situation where he'll learn from. He won't see many more aggressive defenses than he has seen today. He's seen some tough defenses in his first 5 games. The Steelers on opening day and what they do, they're very aggressive too. But the Bears are very aggressive, blitz a lot, but they'll get beat some. I don't think Denver's offense is prepared at this point in time to take advantage of the weaknesses in a defense such as the Bears are presenting them here today. Later on, they may be.
Watson, incomplete. Also, I like the line from his dad. When John Elway talks to his dad, who's the head coach at San Jose State 2 or 3 times, he said last week his dad said, just hang in there. And he said, you've been telling me that every week. And his dad said, I'll come up with something new next week.
Yeah. Well, what he needs to come up with is a little bit more protection for him and some receivers. You know, they don't have Riley Odom. Their tight ends can't get down the middle of the field as well. And their 2 backup receivers are rookies. They've got Upchurch on one side, Watts on the other. They need another guy, if they don't have a tight end on possession situations, to get down the middle of the field and to throw to their backs coming out. But he'll learn all that. He's a smart kid. He'll be a good player in the National Football League.
40 seconds left to go. 3rd down. Pass is complete to Winder. Winder picks up the first down just across the 35 where Mike Richardson makes the tackle. If you were with us at the top of the telecast, we had our advantage rating. See, 10 categories. What team would have the advantage coming in? We had a slight advantage to the Denver Broncos. The swing statistic would be the offensive line, and the Chicago Bears offensive line completely dominating the ball game, and that in reality is the advantage that the Bears have, and they capitalized on it at every opportunity.
Well, the lack of offensive line play from the Denver Broncos allowed the Chicago defense to totally dominate their offense. They got no protection. They ran through them like a sieve, and that set up a lot of big plays for the Chicago offense.
12 seconds left to go. And the Chicago Bears, the record now will be 2-3. The Broncos record will also be 2-3. There's Walter Payton again, a spectacular day with that injury, missing most of the game last week. But boy, he is healthy and back. And of course, the star of the day is Willie Gault. And another sack. This one for Al Harris. As the totals on the sack side, the Broncos the most sacked team in the National Football League. It may be a total of 30 after the first 5 ball games.
I think they're going to continue to hold that record.
10 sacks. They lost 71 yards. 71 yards attempting to throw. Timeout is time. Now, we have an awful lot of people that are involved in the telecast from NBC, starting right at the top with Michael Weissman, our executive producer, as you read along the name. We want to give a special thanks to the crew in Chicago. This normally is a CBS city, and they do most of the games out of here. NBC, with the visiting team being from the AFC, then that means that we're here. So we're working with one of really the great crews in broadcasting, and I'd like to thank them all. They've done a tremendous job bringing you the sights and sounds of this ball game. And also a big congratulations to the Bears. They look good. They
really do look good. And this is a type of game that you really need, one where you can go out and play well offensively and play well defensively. And they've got a big game coming up next week.
They'll be hosting Minnesota here at Soldier Field, and Denver will be traveling on the road to Houston. It is airborne, and it is incomplete.
And it is over.
And it is over. You are right. Egloff, the intended receiver, as well as anyone else that might have been downfield in the area. And the hero of the game is Willie Gault. He broke it open as the Denver Broncos almost came back. And then it was Evans to Galt, 72 yards and the touchdown. From then on, it was no question. The final here, the Chicago Bears 31, the Denver Broncos 14. For Bob Greasy, I'm Charlie Jones. Coming up next, most of you will be seeing Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader, featuring the Chargers against the Giants or the Dolphins and the Saints, right after these messages from your local station.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. We serve more of this land's top 100 business centers than any other airline. Fly the friendly skies.
We had it that year, and they'll never take it away from us.
38 seconds to go. 36 seconds to go. Back goes Morrow. He throws in the sidelines. Intercepted by Russell. He's going to go. He's going to go. Touchdown. By Harvey. Oh, buddy. Woo. 10 seconds left. Turtle back to throw. This could be